Okay, we're going to go ahead and pray. Father, we thank you for Image Stars. Thank you for everyone that is joining. You're such a beautiful God. You're such a mighty God. You know us, oh God. You know those who are mourning, those who have lost loved one. We ask you to strengthen them and to strengthen all of us. You're such a great God. And those who are sick, heal them. You're such a good God. We love you and we thank you. We want to start with you. Thank you for the leadership. Thank you for the team. Thank you for the support. In Jesus' name. Amen. I'll hand it over to Rev. Welcome, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome to Mental Health Stars, this discussion. And I'm here to offer a disclaimer. And after that, I'm going to share with you online resources for yourself and somebody else about grief and loss with hope. It's okay to grieve, but it's important also to have hope, especially ourselves. This information I'm sharing with you is for education and information as shared. Suggestions made here are never a diagnostic, impression, a substitute for treatment, or follow-up activities that are required and consented to by your doctor, your psychiatrist, or your therapist. We encourage you to consult with your doctor. Even if you start to feel good, maybe taking medication, or because this is spring and you may have been suffering from seasonal affective disorder and you have been on medication, we encourage you to please follow up with your doctor. It is so important. Thank you very much. My name is One Boy. I know it sounds like one boy, but I like to spell it because for AI's sake, that is W as in Washington, A as in Apple, M as in mother, B as in boy, U as in United, and I as in India. I'm going to be sharing with you online resources for grief. And then I will let Kevin, Mr. Kevin Gogi, Mr. Anthony, and Bishop Pini share briefly because we want to present to you a holistic way of grief. I know to tell you that one of the things that happens to us when someone we love dies, I believe first we go and get a preacher, our clergy, for that reason. I know you know that. But here are the online resources I wish to share with you. Let's see. This one here. Can you see my screen? I have the online resources, and I would like for you to understand that when we say call, it does not mean you will not connect with real people. It means you will connect with real people in your backyard, what I call, especially here in the United States of America, your zip code. Your zip code is very important because there are various resources that you can access. Even though you call and talk to a counselor or a therapist, it's still important to have these resources. So here I have, as you can see, online resources. But I want you to know that many support groups meet in person, mostly in a church as a venue. And they are likely to be open groups. An open group means you can join in and you can leave when you want. Join in at will, leave when you leave at will. Many of them do not cost, and one can join and leave at will. As those resources you can see, www.griefshare.org. I like this resource because it's available in other countries and major cities, including my friends from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. You can access these resources by your country, by your city, or by your zip code if you are living in the United States of America. Here comes. It's not only people that suffer, but even as professionals, this is a good resource, www.griefnet.org. It's on a personal level or professional. We are human beings. We are not like AI, We need each other. How about children? You see, we have resources for children. We have children that are now digital, and you see, or as a therapist or a parent or another professional working with children, this is a good resource. How about, this is my favorite, www.compassionatefriends.org is for parents who have lost a child of any age, or a miscarriage, or an elective abortion, or an abortion. It's important to share these resources. Don't say, oh, I'm a Christian, this doesn't happen. Remember, we are working with everyone. We want everyone to access resources. Somebody mute that one. Now we also have parents, adults working with kids, counselors, and teachers. Can you please mute the noise, please? Mute yourself. Then, number 2, we have another resource here that says it's important to grieve with hope and help during your grief and loss. Remember, loss is not only by death. It could also be divorce. It could be loss of a place, moving from Kenya, coming to the United States of America, and you don't even have friends. You're just meeting people here. They don't know you. You tell them, oh, I was a bank manager. And they're like, what kind of work are you doing? You are working, you're a custodial worker. And nobody believes you because they did not see you when you're a bank manager. Nevertheless, that can be a problem. But I want to highlight that children, especially children, have you noticed when there is grief of a loved one, they are very quiet sometimes, or they will go and play outside activities, but they don't talk. But because I have worked in the school system, public school system, for many years with young children, as a child and adolescent, and their parents or families, I know for sure our children spend more time in school than at home. And in school, many children that are suffering, they are able to talk to their teacher, talk to their other children actually. In the school system, the majority of the referrals I received were from children. Peer group is very important because you can open up and you are with your peer group or your classmates almost 40 hours a week. Imagine that. There are very few parents that are on this platform that spend 40 active hours a week. But your children are spending this much time with adults who care, teachers, and nurses in school, peer group, bus driver, custodial worker, so they notice this child is having issues. Besides, many times in the school system, if you're in the same zip code, we know who passed away. And when the children come on Monday and we say, what happened over the weekend? They talk. They say, oh, there was a death in our church or in our community. And then we ask the child, how are you really feeling? Adults are very guarded. Adults filter their communication. But children do not. Many times you ask them, what happened over this weekend? The children will say, oh, somebody passed away. And then I ask them, how do you feel now about it? And they are able to communicate. So this one is also for www.grievingchild.org. This provides support for a grieving child or teenager. What to do when death impacts a child or a teenager. There is a youth section which includes separate areas of kids 12 years and under and those who are 13 years and over. How about post-funeral, or rather after burial? The funeral home that cared for your loved one may have helpful resources. They stay with you many times for a period of 1 year. They can send you information every day for 365 days to know what is happening to you or what is happening to me. Ask the director for this resource or funeral home, or just sign up online. They can send you a daily affirmation for the next 365 days, and it will help you understand why you feel the way you do and how you can get out of being stuck in the deep pit of grief. Sometimes when you are grieving, you feel like you have fallen into a deep, dark pit which you have to crawl out of this. Family theory explains it that feeling like falling in a deep, dark pit, out of which one must climb out carefully, step by step. As you climb out slowly each day, you start seeing a ray of light, so you know there is hope after this tragic experience. I'm going to stop the sharing now, and please remember you can ask questions. This is being recorded, and we hope to share with you at some other time. And that's why we are happy that whether we are two or three, we can do this discussion and we can share it with you when this meeting has concluded. That is my presentation, and I'm going to return the mic to Reverend Anthony.
Oh, thank you, Rev. Awesome. It's been your leadership and your patience for 9 years that has brought us this far. And as you say, that it's recorded, we're going to share. I want to share a little bit before I invite Kevin. Grief and loss can hit like a wave you didn't see coming, or like a slow ache that never fully leaves. Both are real, both are valid. Neither comes with a neat timeline. Since you brought it up so simple and directly, I want to meet you with the same clarity. When I grieve, often feel like people experience grief many ways. Heaviness in the chest or mind, feeling numb or disconnected, anger, confusion, guilt, moment of calm followed by sudden sadness. Sense that life has shifted in a way you didn't choose. And none of this reaction means something is wrong with you. And I want to share my little experience. I think pretty much two experiences real quick. When I was raised mostly by my grandma, half of my life my mother, half of my life my grandma, and my grandma was called Gadoni. She really loved me, and she pretty much spoiled me because I was the firstborn of my mom, Joyce. I miss her. God rest her soul, both of them. So when my mom passed away, I was really sad. First of all, my grandma passed away, and I was sad, and because she took care of me, I have for my life and stuff like that. When I was really young, I was sad, and I was like, man, I hope my grandma is better. And I remember her sending me, oh, Dure Mai, go bring some water and all those good stuff. And I was so obedient to her because she was my role model. And pretty much my grandfather Jenga, to be able to lead me to the culture of Kikuyu and understanding the concept and the story. I miss I miss the story of Mau Mau. You know, the way Mau Mau fought. They used to wear guinira, the shoes, in the opposite direction to win against the colonials. So that was kind of there. But when my mom passed away, because as a firstborn, you want to do everything. Oh, you want to show off. Or you are strong. You're strong to show off in your sibling. So during that almost 2 weeks, now it's taking shorter for burial to happen in Kenya. Man, I was so strong, doing everything, going to the morgue. I was like, man, I can go to them to see the body and all that. So after the burial, I didn't know I was getting tired. After the burial, my friend, 2 days after that, I was very, very sick. I was sick. I felt like, man, I hope I'm not going to follow my mama. So in my thinking was sometimes when you're going through that season, in your head, like you're very strong. And my lesson is never overwhelm yourself. Try and take a step back and kind of divide the roles. Even if you're firstborn or if everybody's depending on you, your sisters and brother who are following you are depending on you, it's very, very important to take a break and say, hey, how can I delegate this situation to my uncle? How can I delegate and talk and have a conversation with my brothers? So I discovered I was taking all the load by myself because then I knew the mayor, I had money then because I used to do my little businesses. So lesson learned, when you're grieving, take a break and kind of think, hey, am I able to do this thing alone? And I was very sick for almost 2 months. I lost so much weight, but thank God, because I used to pray, God, I'm not ready yet. I want to be able to be a firstborn to my brothers and sisters so we can live many, many years. And I can sit and say, hey, it's very, very important when you're grieving, when you lost somebody you love or somebody you care about, to just think and take a break and take care of your mental health, take care of yourself, make sure you eat on time, make sure you drink a lot of water and all that. So that's what happened. It was tough. It was tough. During that season, you're very strong, but immediately after the burial, you are beaten down, you are sick, and like, whoa, what happened? So I just wanted to share that part of my story. Otherwise, right now, I'll invite Kevin. God bless.
Let me ask one question. How old were you?
Man, that time I was 17 going to 18.
Oh.
And by the time I was 15, I was up there doing the asharas and working also part-time, go to school part-time. And I was like the leader, man. Sometimes you're waiting on your dad to step in and like, oh my God, where is he? That situation. I was young and very, very energized. And it was tough, man. By the time I was 18, I was kind of still processing. I'm still processing it till today. Like, my mom died very young, and I'm always thinking about it. Like, could I be better? You know, and then the system, the hospital, then were kind of, not the best. Rural area. By the time you get a taxi, by the time you take your rides, almost late. And the system was really slow. By the time we were getting help, it was late. And I say, man, I wish she could be alive, and maybe the system could have been different. She could be alive today. Good transportation, good medical facilities. She could be alive today because can you imagine she died of meningitis? That's
I'm
it.
sorry about that. Yes.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
That's tough.
Yeah.
When I have worked in school system, the young people, we even prayed. Even myself, I say like, God, almost every child prays that their parents do not die when they are young. So
Right.
it's a huge, huge loss that you have to carry on and also overcome.
Mhm.
Thank God there is hope. And that, as a believer, we always say that we shall meet again.
Right. Thank you. All right, Kevin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me clear?
Yes.
Awesome, great. Super, super excited about this and coming back again. This is a really sensitive topic that we are touching and trying to go over it just to share, create awareness. And it's one of those things that majority of us, nobody's ever prepared for this kind of information or situations in life, but it does impact all of us differently. We process grief differently and we go through the different stages of it differently. Sometimes you're back and forth depending with what's currently going around you, and grief is it's not an easy process. Like I said, grief looks different for everybody, but I'll just share some highlights of what I've seen and how what can we do different. How can we as a community equip or strengthen each other to be able to have an easier time of this. I think we are very strong in coming together when there's a loss, in terms of a family, or even when people going through the tough time. It could be a divorce, a job, or even a pet lost. But what happens afterwards? After we have come, tumefanya maombolezi as a part of what we do, we come in and support. But after that particular day, or even during that time, how we processing this? It could be just from a friend or family, but it affects all of us differently. And we'll look at a couple of things. So a couple items have been highlighted by Reverend Tomboya and KAMNAO. Part of what we are human beings, and we go through those emotions. You're sad, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're shocked. There's hopelessness, anxiety. Sometimes it's stressful. People panic over the results or the outcome, but it all affects us. I'll just share some data that I found that from the psychiatric times, they did discover that 40% of individuals tend to fall into depression after or while going through grief. So this is pretty big, and is something that we need to be a little bit aware of and how to tackle it. It can affect your sleep, how you eat, how you process pain. Sometimes some people get a lot of pain just because they're trying to go through it, and it just intensifies whatever little they have, or they numb through it. They don't feel nothing until right afterwards, or down the line they're like, oh, okay, this is what I was feeling through then, but I couldn't focus on myself. So there's also increased risk of um, social withdrawal. So some people just are good at, they hear the news or they receive the news or they're going through this particular tough time, and they withdraw completely from their community support, or even if atam kienda to the home trying to engage with them, they just want an avoidance kind of situation. So it's really important that as a community we let them go through it. And there are a couple stages of grief that I'll talk about and how it affects us all. It's just a standard. There's the denial phase, and then there's the anger phase. That's where someone is just frustrated and keep asking, why me? Why did it happen? The why question comes up a lot. And then there's the bargaining. That's the attempt to regain control. You're trying to balance, okay, this has happened, there's a gap, I need to step up, or how we're going to do this, and trying to process that change. Then there's some people go through the depression phase. It's a deep sadden and they completely withdraw. And then the final stage is the acceptance. Now, all these stages, there are five, but we all process them and go through them differently. Sometimes one might stay in denial for a while, and then they'll proceed a little bit easier from the next to the next. And sometimes they might be stuck in the bargaining phase and, go back and forth between anger and bargaining, and, hopefully they don't fall into depression. So these are just stages that as a community we need to be aware of what someone is going through, so we don't push our, hey, numb this up, get through it, toughen up, and that kind of language, because we don't know what's going on at that particular time. Is it that easy? No. uh, Give people time to process and go through it. And a couple things that we've highlighted here from Reverend Wambo and KAMNAO is having that support pillar in your community. It's good for us as a community to also embrace uh, loss when it comes to right afterwards. Our parents who have lost children, can they meet and just vent it out? If it could be a team of young adults that lost their parents young, but they kind of meet and vent and share how you coping, that kind of information. Their support helps a lot. The other thing that we can do also is listening with the intention. Someone just call them, check on them, but let them have open-ended questions that provide them an opportunity to talk, so they can explain how they're feeling and what they're going through, and also you're able to pick up and know where to help and support. Thirdly is what I like: get professional help. Get professional help. A lot of us, we are not aware. For example, if someone had uh, and I'm picking an example, someone passed away, but they were on hospice. Sometimes most companies in Georgia will provide bereavement services to their family up to a year for free. So those are just things in our community that are available. And the part of it, you get a chaplain visit, a social worker visit. They assess and they plug you into resources in the community that can help you and help you cope, or even give you group support within that time. Most of them give you something that's really, really close by to you. And it's also really good to seek counselor, uh, just in case you have crisis moments. uh, it's good to call for help. With that said, keep up a good care for yourself. If you have annuals, go for them. Let your primary care doctor know what you're going through. The majority is not even medication, it's just to get you plugged into the right appropriate help and support to get you through that phase. Something I just want to add is really, really important is to know your employers' benefits. Majority of these places we work have bereavement time. So you're not trying to juggle the situation and working. And depending on how the relationship is, if it's family, they give you different time off. Not time off when they're Kenya and have a good time, but time off of work to be able to take care of these situations, give you time to bounce back. Some of them have um, employee relations that can plug you into company invested uh, relationship or company resources that provide support during that time. So these are a few things that I believe as diaspora, not just working, it's available to you, and use it. So if you need to step out to support your child, or to sit down and formulate a plan, or take extra group support, your work is protected as you use your FMLA and bereavement to support yourself. To just let your employer know what you're going through. But these are just a few resources that help us as diaspora, so we are not panicking over losing your job or getting fired just because you have a situation or you're grieving. I'll pause right there. And also, it's really good. Plug into a really good, strong community. Church is where we go to first, like Reverend Wamboy said, and it's good to let them know what's going on, and just plug into, because sometimes just the prayers they bring to your house, or even call you in, or even provide support in the office, is something that you can plug in and get resources for emotional and spiritual support. All right, thank you much. That's it for me. To Reverend Come.
All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Um, Anyone want to add anything? Is Bishop in the house to add anything? Otherwise, I'm gonna stop the YouTube, and then we're gonna go